Welcome to SimplyLearnStuff. In this video, we will look at a quick overview of data models. Data models is a unique way to combine information from different types of data tables so that you can use them simultaneously. It is quite simple to do. However, first we need to change a few settings if you have not done so already. What we will require to simply add information to a data model is the Power Pivot tab. If you do not have this tab within your Excel, we can add it in two different ways. Firstly, we can go to File, Options, and then go to the Add-ins tab. Here we will be able to see the Power Pivot for Excel option. We select it and click Go. This will open an add-ins window where you can add additional add-ins, but for us, we will simply just select OK at this point. If you still do not see the Power Pivot tab, you may have to enable it through the Developers tab. But wait, you might say, but I don't see the Developers tab. For this, you can simply right-click on the headers of the ribbon, choose Customize Ribbon, and on the right-hand side, you will see Customize Ribbon Main tabs. Here you will make sure that the Developer tab has a tick mark in it, and you select OK. You will then be able to see the Developer tab. From here, on the Add-ins group, you can go to COM Add-ins, and here we will make sure that the Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel also has a check mark in it, and we simply select OK. After doing those steps, you should be able to see the Power Pivot tab. From here, we have various different options, but the one we will be focusing on is the Add to Data model. For us to add information to a data model, we first have to convert our data to a table. You'll be able to follow a link in the description to how to create tables. Once we have created our tables, here we have information of employee data, and then we also have information of tests employee has taken on a different sheet. We can simply add information to a data model by simply selecting any cell within the table and selecting Add to Data Model from the Power Pivot tab. This will open the Power Pivot window, and we will notice that the test scores table has been added to the data model. We also want to add the employee data to the data model, so we will go back to that table, select anywhere within the table, and then Add to Data Model. As you can see, we now have the test scores and the employee data within this data model. Before we close this window, we need to make sure that there is a relationship. What we want to do is we want to use a unique identifier of the data within each table and connect them together so that the two tables know how to communicate with each other. For example, in the EMP data table, we have an employee ID column. This is a unique identifier for each employee. So any information that is linked to this employee ID can then be used in conjunction with any other data in another table that also has that unique identifier. You will notice that we can maybe also use the name and surname, as they also seem to be unique. However, this data set is limited, and if you would want to use large data tables, you might actually have duplicate names or surnames. Therefore, it is better to use something like an employee ID or a unique reference number. To create this relationship is quite easy. From the Power Pivot window, we can simply select diagram view, and we can use the unique identifier, in this case the EMP ID column, and simply click and drag it to the other table that we want to link the relationship with. Once this link has been created, we can simply close the window. From here, the information between the two tables is now linked, and we can use it in conjunction. For example, if we would have added a pivot table and used the data from a specific range, you will notice that it can only use the data from this specific data table. However, if we create a pivot table but select it from the data model, we will be able to use all the data tables that is added to that data model. In this case, we have EMP data, and we also have the test scores table. I can, for example, use the name and surname from the employee ID table, but I can also use the test scores from the test scores table. I will just change the view of the pivot table in the design tab to tabular form so the data can be displayed more correctly. I can add in additional data as well, such as additional tests, or even add in department or position information. As you can see, the information can be pulled from both tables simultaneously into one pivot table. This pivot table can also be used to be able to create unique pivot charts using this data simultaneously, or even be adding in additional slices, etc. This opens up a brand new way of interpreting your information and pulling data from one table to another to be able to incorporate it and use it in conjunction to create a unique flavor to different data models. I trust that you enjoy this video, and remember to like and subscribe.